Welcome to an overview of Dynamics 365 Business Central. You're looking at a role center, and the role center is your starting point for accessing the environment or platform known as Business Central. You'll notice that I'm running a browser, so the software does not require any software or client to be installed. It is completely web-based or browser-based in terms of access, which means you can run this on Chrome, Edge. If you're a Mac user, you could use Safari. You can also access the system via a tablet. And everything that you can do in Business Central can be done and is optimized for use on a touch screen using a tablet device. So bringing up my customer records, accessing a customer, looking at their account, drilling into their balances. You have complete access to everything about the customer. So if I bring up, for example, the Canon Group, I can see their balance, $255,000, and I can see the actual transactions that exist. And when looking at these, for example, this specific order for $11,776, I can click on it and see the invoice information. I can see if there were any scanned attachments or documents, maybe a copy of their purchase order. I can go ahead and update it, find the entries, track the package. I can make corrections. I can go ahead and print or send or email or create a PDF directly from this screen. And I'll just escape back. And let's go back to our regular browser-based experience instead of the tablet client and call up the same information. So I'm going to click on customers and I'm going to bring up the Canon Group. Now I see they're right here, but what if I wanted to search for them? If I click the search box and I just type in Canon, it's immediately going to filter my records. And I could type Canon, but I could also type in, maybe I only know that a guy named Andy Teal works there. I'll just type in Teal and it'll find and filter. It searches on every field that is on your list. So when I bring up this record, I can bring up the Canon Group customer record, or you'll notice this info pane on the right-hand side. I can see their ongoing sales orders, their posted shipments, and I can see under customer statistics, their balance. So I can drill down into that balance field the same way I did from the tablet client. And I can see this $11,000 document. I can drill into it, or if I want to find the actual document, I can click on the date, or I just simply click on show document, and it brings me into that same record. From here, I can update it, correct it, track the packages that were shipped out. So flexible interface, very intuitive in terms of navigation, and drilling down and throughout the product is native in the entire solution. Now, when we look at the role center, I'll see here a headline up top. Then I see an activity pane with some highlights or key performance indicators. Sales this month, overdue sales invoices, overdue purchase invoices. I can see sales orders, sales invoices, ongoing purchase orders, purchase invoices due to be paid next week. And any of these tiles I can drill into, and it'll show me the related transaction. And I'm just going to drill back. Scan documents. So we can create documents by using the camera on our device, whether it's on our computer or a camera that we have attached, a tablet, and you can even run this software on a phone. As we get down further, you'll see email statuses. So it's nice to know that the software sends emails out. But what if those emails failed? What if they're stuck as a draft and they didn't get sent? So, and let me see the emails that I actually sent, and it keeps an auditable trail so that for your specific user, you'll know, did your emails go out? If you're sending order confirmations, if you're sending purchase orders. Approvals. So the system has a complete workflow and approval engine where approvals will come up on your role center for things you need to approve. Purchase invoices, sales invoices, journal entries. The system has workflows for approvals built throughout the product. Intercompany, of course, the product is multi-company. It is multi-language. It is multi-currency enabled. A self-service for recording time and booking timesheets. The system is also pre-integrated with Shopify. If you have a Shopify platform or website, that can be completely integrated and synchronized with Business Central. Then as we get down further, some business insights where we can choose various chart parts and they're interactive. I can drill down into them. So if I'm looking at a chart for business performance, top sales by customer, or I want to look at cash flow projection by month, or if I want to take a look at other chart parts, aged AR, aged AP, income statement, income and expense graphs directly on screen, my favorite accounts, mini financials. Here's a little trial balance on screen. And you can personalize all of these parts and choose, for example, if you don't have a Shopify platform and you don't want that displayed, you can, of course, personalize. And when you personalize the screens, if I click on this section, I can just simply say hide it, and it will now be hidden. So when I click done, Shopify is no longer on my role center. Now, the role centers are a starting point for configuring your systems to simplify a user's access and to simplify what they see on their screens to make it more intuitive. If we take a look at the various role centers that are enabled, and I go to my settings, I can see here the role I'm in now is a business manager, but you'll see accountant, service manager, order processor, manufacturing manager, project manager, inventory manager, warehouse worker. These are the available roles. And we'll click on sales order processor, and you'll notice here that I can choose what region I operate in for optimization and performance. I can choose what language I'm using. And you'll notice all of the languages that are embedded, from Chinese to various English, Spanish, German, Korean. These are available, and it's workstation by workstation. And what it will change is the captions and the information that's displayed. And I'll push OK, and it's going to reopen and invoke that of an order processor. So what's important to an order processor? Well, sales orders, items, customers, and even the menus at the top of the screen adjust. So now it's not about bank accounts and journal entries. It's about sales orders. Orders open, waiting to be released. Orders ready to ship. Orders that are delayed, and the average days delayed. And these traffic lights are programmable. So I could say if I don't have anything late or average days delayed is less than a day, show green. If we're between 2 days late and 5 days late, yellow, and over 5 days, show as red. Return orders, credit memos, intercode transactions, email statuses and approvals for workflow. And then these graph parts are going to change. So my customers, the items I want to track, trailing sales orders, and I can see what's going on with sales orders as we project out. Now, the scope, the breadth and depth of Business Central, you're seeing here for a sales order processor. If I click on this hamburger stack, you'll see these are the features that are enabled for a sales order processor. And this is a teaching tip. You can turn those off, but it's basically driven user manuals that take you through the product. And if we look at all roles and the entire breadth and depth of the software, you'll see that the product has finance, of course, general ledger, cost accounting, receivables, payables, fixed assets for tracking depreciation. Human resources is everything except payroll. So it's confidential information, hire date, termination date, what qualifications or skills does an employee have, certifications, do they participate in benefits or 401k? So it eliminates a file cabinet. Manufacturing, with product design, capacity planning and scheduling, and planning, which is MRP and MRP2, as well as MPS. which is material requirements planning, and production scheduling for master production schedules. Operations, where we can set up our routings, our work centers, our machine centers, your shop calendars. Project management, which is really jobs. It's job costing, revenue recognition for any custom projects or jobs that we do. Warehouse management, so the software incorporates the ability to use radio frequency handheld devices to direct put away, to direct picking, to direct movements, and managing the goods on your shop floor or in your warehouse. Purchasing, which is purchase quotes, requests for quote, blanket POs. Planning, where our requisition worksheet can calculate based on inventory static controls, min, max, reorder point, reorder quantity, and other order modifiers, and forecast numbers to determine how much should you purchase. And it will make those recommendations. And when it makes recommendations on a requisition worksheet, we can drill down and it will tell us why. They're fulfilling these orders. These are demands based on component need, or we're just filling, min, max, and order planning controls. Resources are machines, personnel, labor. It's non-inventory items that can be used to record time against a job or production order, as well as things that I would charge for on a sales document, like freight, where it's not an inventory item, but it's something that we don't have to think about a GL account when invoicing a customer for freight. We can choose the resource for freight, and it will automatically map to the correct general ledger accounts. Sales and marketing. So not to be confused with Microsoft Dynamics 365 sales or the customer engagement CRM product. Business Central has its own relationship management functionality where we will track associated with sales, all of our customers, all of our vendors, and all of our prospects, the company information and the contacts. And it's fully integrated with Microsoft Outlook and Exchange. So if there are emails going back and forth, that information will be stored on the company directly in Business Central. You can also interact with customer data directly in Outlook or Teams. Of course, it has sales order processing and blanket sales orders and invoices and RMAs and all of the functionality that you would require for a robust sales processing solution. And finally, Business Central also includes a service management component. If you're utilizing service items and service orders and service contracts and dispatching skilled resources to address service requests for, a client calls in and their system is broken, and we can create a service ticket, assign it to an individual, whether it's an employee or a contractor, and they can address the service ticket, record what they've done on a service worksheet, and the system will generate an appropriate invoice, including the things if it's under warranty for labor or for materials. So back to my main role center, let's just take a look at a list, and we'll call up a list of items. Now, when you're looking at lists in this software, you can look at lists that resemble like an Excel spreadsheet, or you can look at a visual list on using tiles or tall tiles. And if I bring up tall tiles, if we have pictures on our items, you'll see pictures of those products on those tiles. You can still interact with the system the same way, just like clicking on an item on a list. You'll notice on the right-hand side, we have the info pane, and I can turn that off to see more of my lists or more fields on a list view, or I can bring that fact box back. And the fact boxes will allow us to access information about the item without opening the item page. So the item details and information, the planning parameters for this item, the item's attributes, and these are user defined and searchable and filterable. So if I said I want to filter and I want to look by attribute, let's filter for the attribute material description, and I want to find products that have metal or cotton and we'll just put that in and we'll push OK. And now here's all the products I have, whether this is a, an ingredient or a voltage or whatever we're setting up as our attribute, we can use this to intelligently filter the lists of inventory. Then as I go further, I can bring up an item itself and see the same data directly on screen as a regular item page. So I'll see the item, the description, the unit of measure. If I click the show more on any of these, they're called fast tabs, I'll see additional fields of data. So depending on what's important to you, if I click show more, I can come down and I can see the inventory. Now, the quantity on hand field, you'll notice this little ellipse or assist edit button. If I click on that, this allows me to go through and I can update my inventory on this product directly from the item card. So if I'm walking around with my tablet and I spot check an item, I can go ahead and say, no, there's actually 5 of these, and I'll push OK. It's going to go through and update my inventory and record the appropriate ledger entries to show me exactly what my on-hand quantity should be for that product. Let's go take a look at an item that I actually manufacture. So let's bring up a bicycle, and I'm going to bring my regular list view back, and we're going to take a look at this item, the bicycle. Now, when I look at a bicycle has a production bill of material and a routing because I manufacture this product. So you'll see on my replenishment tab, my rules are make to stock, or it could be make to order. And I've got a routing and a production BOM. When I want to take a look at information on this, comprehensive information, like the rolled up cost shares for this product, to see why does this item cost what it does, I can go ahead and expand any of these screens, and I'll see here for the bicycle, the rolled up material cost for the top line, the bicycle, $274, and the rolled up labor costs. And where do those come from? And you'll see here all of the items and the various types of assembly, the runtime. All of this comes from that bill of material and the routing attached to my product, where I'll be able to roll up all of the costs and see my totals for every single line, the labor cost, the subcontract costs, the overhead, in a indented cost share distribution. From a search perspective, if I want to search for something like the aged accounts receivable, I just start typing and the system says, all right, aged A, there are 11 reports. And if I click show all, an item age composition, production order, but here I go to the aged accounts. Let's go to the aged AR report. And any report that I'm generating in the system, I can go ahead and run and I can preview it. I can send it as an XML doc, as a PDF, a Word document, an Excel document with headers, or just the data. But we'll go ahead and we'll just preview that report, aged accounts receivable, and I'll preview. And when reports are generated and rendered, you can go ahead and zoom on them. We can search on them for specific data. But anytime you want to find something in the system, you can use that. Tell me what you want to do. You can also use this to search. So if I just put in here 88 and I click search the company, this basically does a Google search on my entire system. It finds a variety of tables and areas that have that data. I'll click on this again. So contacts, customers, customer ledger entries, items, sales orders, sales order lines, and you choose which tables you want to enable searching in. So if a customer calls, they know their order number, or it could be an item or any information at all, and you want to find the related transaction, just by putting in a couple of characters, the system will search and we can find the relevant document that we're looking for, the relevant information. So everything is accessible. And of course, it's based on security permissions, what data that you'll be able to search and the information you'll be able to access and work with. Finally, Business Central is a platform, and the source code cannot be modified by an end user or by a partner. So that means that you're always able to update and be on the current release of Business Central. No more large, exhausting upgrade projects. The way that you do things that you want that are unique, customizations, are done as extensions, and they're extensions to the product, where you can come in and remove extensions, install extensions, and access new ones via the extension marketplace. So this is basically like the App Store. So if you're searching for some extension, for example, you want the system to do some kind of advanced commissions, there are extensions available on the marketplace for commission management and how it works. And you are able to come in these. Many have a free trial or get it now, where you can install these extensions. So whatever it is that you're looking for, chances are there's an app out there. Buyer beware. We want to make sure that you're very careful at which extensions you use. When you install Business Central, you get the ability to manage one production environment and 3 sandbox environments, playgrounds. You can create copies and make new playgrounds without requiring anyone outside of your organization. And you can install these extensions into the playgrounds so you can test and verify that you like the functionality before applying it to your live environment. So I hope you've gotten a feel for how navigation and how data is accessible through the software, the platform, Business Central. And if you're looking to learn any more, we'd be happy to dig deeper with you. Have a wonderful day.